Tonight, time, distance, and the foreboding depths of the North Atlantic are working against 5 people who remain lost beneath the sea in a deep diving submersible, and also against their would-be rescuers. What began as a tourist expedition to the wreckage of the Titanic has become its own ill-fated voyage. The cramped vessel not heard from since early into its dive on Sunday. Coast Guard officials say if the sub is still intact, the passengers are likely down to less than 2 days of breathable air. Tonight, an international armada of ships and planes is forming more than 400 miles from St. John's, Newfoundland. But locating the sub is one thing. Attempting an actual rescue in the crushing ocean depths could prove impossible. Tom Costello reports from Boston, where the search is being coordinated.
The search zone is the size of Connecticut in the choppy, cold waters of the North Atlantic. Today, a private company's underwater drone went into the water to help search for the missing sub, roughly the size of a minivan. On board, Hamish Harding, a billionaire who has pursued extreme adventures worldwide. British businessman Shahzada Dawood and his son Suleiman. French pilot Paul-Henri Nogelet. And OceanGate founder, CEO Stockton Rush, who talked about the risk during a recent podcast.
So what I worry about most are things that will stop me from being able to get to the surface. Overhangs, fish nets, entanglement hazards.
The Titanic wreckage sits at the bottom of the ocean, nearly 13,000 feet deep, where the pressure is roughly 400 times what it is at sea level. No diver could withstand it. Even a Los Angeles-class Navy sub has a maximum depth of 2,000 to 3,000 feet. Tim Taylor has led dozens of submissions looking for World War II wrecks.
Rockets explode. Submersibles implode. They crush down on themselves like a toothpaste tube.
But with time ticking away, U.S. and Canadian Coast Guard ships and planes are coordinating a massive grid search, looking for any sign that the sub has come to the surface. So far, nothing. If the sub is intact underwater, it may have only a day and a half worth of air left.
This is a very complex search, and the unified team is working around the clock to bring all available assets and expertise to bear as quickly as possible.
The sub, called Titan, has never been certified. Among the safety concerns, the hatch can only be unbolted and opened from the outside, not the inside. And it runs using a video game controller. The Navy is now rushing salvage equipment to the site in case the sub needs to be lifted out of the ocean. If your submersibles can find this sub, is there any way to retrieve it and save the people on board?
We have a group of our nation's best experts in the Unified Command, and if we get to that point, those experts will be looking at what the next course of action is.
But time is of the essence. Terry Virts is a former astronaut and close friend of Hamish Harding, who heard from him just before the dive.
The text I got was, "Hey, we're headed down to Titanic today!" Exclamation point.
The hope, all 5 are still alive.
I would assume they're stuck on the bottom in the mud or somehow entangled in Titanic. It's a search and rescue mission. So first of all, they have to find them.
Tom, what more can you tell us about this salvage equipment the Navy is rushing to Newfoundland, Canada?
Yeah, the Navy, the Air Force tells us that C-17s are right now flying that salvage equipment from Buffalo to Newfoundland. But then they've got to load it onto a ship or ships, and the travel time out to the search zone could take days, and the clock is ticking. They may not have much more time in there.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.